Hiya! Today I'd like to test another box with you. So it's a box of art supplies from Scrawlr box. And I also, in the previous video where I tested a previous Scrawlr box, I also unboxed these. So I would like to show you these as well. I haven't used them yet. Yeah. If you're new here, my name is Kama and I'm also known as Weird is the Best. I make all kinds of mixed media art and I'm a comic book artist, printmaker, whatever there is to do with art, I probably do it because I love it all. And yeah, so let's get into the video. So Scrawlr box, yeah, it's like a subscription box where you can subscribe to it and they will send you a box of random art supplies every month. They're usually really interesting. And this one was on like an older box and it was on sale, so I grabbed this one. I also ordered some, just as a art haul, I guess, some Mastercard by SD. It's my favorite lino for lino cut printing. So yeah, just thought I'd show you. I won't be cutting any lino today, but maybe I'll do a video in the future. I'm not sure yet. I'm feeling quite, I don't know, it's quite something that you need to focus on a lot, I think. So this box is from October 2026. My cat was just distracting me because he's on house arrest. He's ill and on medication, so I can't let him out because he needs to take his medication and not miss any doses. So if you hear any noises, that's where it's coming from. Just before I open it, I'll tell you about these. This was like a mini box. It came in all these different colors and it had a chisel pen in it and a marker pen, acrylic marker pen in black. So I'll be testing this in a second, but let's unbox it now. I think let's get into the surprise. So these boxes always come with a set of art supplies, a zine, an art print, a sticker, like this is from the previous art box, rather Scrawlr box, and a mini poster. And I really like this poster, and even though I don't usually make art in this kind of style, I always want to make art in this kind of style. It's kind of like watercolory, I don't know how to describe it. And there's always like some kind of paper. Often I find the paper is the least nice quality, but it's only a sample paper for the art supplies, and I think these are the stars of the box, if that makes sense. So yeah, I wouldn't rate the box by the paper because the value in the box is really good. And this is a sketchbook I was testing the previous box in, so I thought I might continue in this sketchbook and I might continue on this paper, we'll see. Let's unbox them. This is an art supply I wanted to try for a while. I think they're popular in Poland, or maybe they're a Polish brand. And yeah, I don't know what I wanted to say there. It's been a really long week. Yeah, anyway. So the set has a brush. It's like an angle brush. I think it's called like a blade, maybe? And it's size 8. Nice and big. I'll leave it out actually. So we'll probably be painting with it. It also has two colored pencils. They seem to be exactly the same thing, but slightly different branding. And it's in light cobalt and light carmine, or light carmine. Nice. And there's a line maker, which I guess is very similar. So like every brand. So this is from the previous box that I tested. This is a Unipin. It's a waterproof and fade-proof fine liner. And I imagine this will be very similar, although I haven't checked yet. Yeah, it's a permanent liner, which means that it will be waterproof once it dries, or it should be at least. Each box always comes with a custom sticker based on the current artist's artwork and the poster. I like this one a lot. I know I said I don't really make art in this kind of style, but sometimes I go for a similar type of art. if that makes sense. I'm just not that good at it or confident. So these are Real Brush Pro Karin markers. And I really wanted to try them, but they're a bit expensive in UK. So we have canary, turquoise, and orange red. And I'm really excited to try them. I have no idea how this works. It's very liquidy. I don't know if you can see that. It's a bit hard to see, but you can see the bubble in there. That's how watery the markers are. So yeah, we'll see how they work in a second. So like I said, there's always a zine. It talks a bit about the artist. There's like an interview, and it talks about the contents. And yeah, the interview here and a few examples of work. I definitely draw cats, so yeah, it's quite nice to see. And there's some ideas of how to use these materials. It doesn't ever have like a proper tutorial, but it has some like high-level steps that you can follow. It doesn't actually teach you exactly how to do it. And yeah, cute cover. Okay, I think let's just go for it. So I'm going to open the zine in the background, and I'm going to try these techniques. So this is an HP watercolor paper. I'm not sure what HP means. Hot press, maybe? And it's 200 GSM. So the boxes usually come with like a small pad. 10 sheets is not a lot, but it's like enough to test out the materials, I guess, and make a couple artworks. Sometimes they're a hit and miss, but I don't know, watercolor paper sounds like it should be good quality. I said I'll use this, but I think it's not the best for wet media, so let's go for this. Okay, the first step is to just swatch. Swatch. That's what it says. So let's swatch. So let's try turquoise 654. I don't know if I'm supposed to mix it up. It didn't come with instructions, so I'm guessing it should use words. I'm guessing it should just work out of the box. It says here that it's for calligraphy, graphic design, and illustration, and it does say it's made in Poland, so I'm definitely planning to look for them when I'm next in Poland. It's a nice, like, thin brush. Let's just swatch it like this. Oh, it's nice coverage as well. I like this paper too. Like, this is one of the better papers. And I'm just going to grab some water. Through the magic of editing, we have water. And the reason I wanted some water was to... Excuse my boiler in the background. That's just how life is. I would like to try it with some water. Let's see what happens. Try quickly. Oh, it's really nice. The way it blends out. I messed it up, but you can see. That is a really nice blend. And the paper handles it very nicely as well. Let's try something like... I don't know. I'm just making things up now. Just playing. Okay. So that's the turquoise Real Brush Pro. Let's try yellow next. They're really nice and juicy as well. This might be hard for you to see, so I'll be faster with this color. And I'll try blending two different colors. So I'll start with the lighter one on the left. And some blue. And we'll see how they blend with water and then with one another as well. I have no idea how to blend, so this is just a bad attempt at blending. But I'm trying to see what I can achieve. Yeah, not bad. Not bad for someone who can't blend. I mean, it's not perfect, obviously. Okay. And we have orange red 051. Can't do my drills anymore. They're like, these things are like the kind of lettering drills, so you can practice your hand. You can practice your hand lettering this way and improve. If my words don't make sense, please bear with me. Like I said, it's been a long day and week, to be honest. I think I waited too long. Or maybe there's not enough water. Maybe that's too much now. Yeah, you get the idea. I quite like these. The markers, the pen, the paper, it all feels really nice and good quality. And sometimes when you get watercolor paper, even when it feels nice, sometimes it doesn't. It turns out quite cheap and not very, very nice, but I think it handles water in like at least this small quantity that I used really nicely. So yeah, nothing special. It's not especially juicy, but it's also actually it's quite a smooth paper, so it should draw quite nicely, which I think it does. It's maybe not as juicy as I maybe expected, but nothing wrong with this pen at all. Yeah, all good. It's a nice line maker. And we have two pencils. Am I still in shot? Yes, I am. I tend to use my colored pencils kind of by pressing quite hard, so that's what I'm testing here. But yeah, I think colored pencils I might have to try on different paper. It's just a personal preference, I think. But they're right, they're quite nice and soft. And they have quite a nice range in, you know, when you apply different pressure. Yeah, pretty decent. So I just realized that one of the techniques was to blend colors, which I've done. And you can also blend these markers. Okay, so just like Tombow brush pens and Eco lines, you can, I think this will be the nicest. You can touch the tips together and the color will transfer. It's exactly the same as you can do with Tombos, and I believe I demonstrated it at some point in the past when I was trying these out, the Tombow brush pens. So I've transferred the color. I'm not sure if much yellow came onto this blue, but we'll see. Yeah, you can kind of make it greenish by mixing these two. And we should see a much stronger effect on this one. It's juicy green. And as you continue drawing, the color kind of rubs off the nib. And you're back to your original color after a while. So that's how you can blend. I quite like this more than I like this transition more than I like this one with water. I think it's just easier to make it nice and smooth and kind of seamless in a way. Okay, we've done the pencils, but we haven't done pencils on top of the colors. So let's try that. Yeah, just like most colored pencils, they look okay. They go on top of the paint. All right, it's not the best because it's a bit harder to get a nice smooth line, but it's not that bad, to be honest. I'll show you. So here it is on white, and here it is on color. It's slightly less. The coverage is slightly less strong, but I think there's nothing wrong with this, to be honest. Okay, what else is there? You can layer them as well. Okay, let's try layering. I think this should be... Oh no, this is typical me. The paint is everywhere now. You can go on top of each, like other colors. Yeah, sentences don't make sense, but hopefully you understand me still. You can put colors on top of each other. I guess you can also make... So you can make thin, thick, and you can probably make really... At least that's what's in the booklet. They're quite thick. And in the booklet they just layer them like this. I'm interested to see what happens when I switch the colors, the order of colors. It kind of looks the same. Yeah, if you ever get your pan a bit dirty, then you can just continue using it and it's back to its normal color, like I showed you before. Okay, I think that covers all the examples that they've shown. And I'm excited to try these as well. So let's start with the chisel pen, because it's the closest. It's 2.0 size, so it means I think it's like 2 millimeters wide. So you can get... I'm paranoid today about the camera, being in camera. So you can get really thin lines. You can also get thick lines. And you can kind of get a variation, you can play with it. I quite like this sort of like jacket line, especially for drawing nature and things like that. So you can like draw bushes and... I don't know. I don't really use chisel nibs that much. But I guess that's one way you can use them. Let's try some hatching. Oops. That went very dark very quickly. So yeah, it's quite a versatile pen. It's a bit hard to make it make a smooth line, but I think that's quite normal with these kinds of pens, especially on this kind of paper as well. Yeah, everything I could expect from this type of pen. So let's open these. Let's open them all first. So I think this is the kind of acrylic paint marker that you shake before you use, so I'll just do that quickly. Oh, that's not... Usually there's like a ball inside and it should make a bit of sound when you... It kind of gets stuck for some reason. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I mixed it up before enough. Okay, so let's start with this. It might be really hard for you to see the exact color that I can see because they're neon, and just technology doesn't, like the cameras can't capture that. So it's impossible, almost impossible to show you exact colors of neon markers. I think I'll use this. I just don't know if that paper is suitable, to be honest. Let's start with a new page. I'll start on this side. Okay, and this one. Okay, so this one, so they're all Pilot Pinter. I think that's how you pronounce them at least. And it's a medium size. So there also you shake them. Okay, this one says shake them 20 times. So let's just do that quick. This is a hack for you. If you have to shake a lot of pens, just do it all in one go. I think that's roughly 20. I wasn't really counting. Okay, let's try yellow. This one's fluo, neon yellow. And okay, and you have to press it 3 to 4 times. Let's see if that holds up. Well, that was 4 times. Okay, or 5. 100. It's starting to come through. I could probably do it all in bulk because this will take us forever. Okay, I love highlighter pens, so when I saw these, I was in love. I like them for filling backgrounds, so if I draw something like, even in like a pencil, I would fill a background just to make it look a bit more interesting. I'll find a better sketchbook in a second, just to, because this paper doesn't handle scrubbing, and this is quite a hard nib, so I think that's what's happening here. Really nice apricot color. I think it's called apricot. Oh, neon red, sorry. Apricot is more orangey. Pretty nice. I don't think these kinds of pens will blend, so I won't even try. You might see a cat jump on my table in a second. That just happens. This one's neon apricot orange. And the medium size, I forgot to say, is 1.4 millimeters. It's like a bullet nib. The colors or the way they draw is alright. It's not my best highlighter, but there are many highlighters and everyone will like different things. I would say maybe this isn't neon, but the other colors are definitely much more neon. I still really like it. I still will use it a lot, probably. Okay, these are the neons. And I think the idea is that once you draw something, so let's draw a very quick cut in pink, because the pink shows up the best on this paper. Is this acrylic? They are made in Japan. Water-based pigment ink. Okay. Pigment usually is good. It means that it's more quality, I guess? I'm not sure. At least I tend to find the word pigment on pens that are nicer quality. Okay. And I think once it dries, we can go over it with the black line. Yeah, this pen is a bit weird. So this is a Daler and Rowney. It's called Simply, and it's an acrylic paint marker. It says shake several times, press tip down until paint flows, recap after use. So it's very similar. This one doesn't mention how many times. So I guess they're not trying to make up a number. But this immediately flew. So this one might actually be 3 to 4 times. Yeah, 4 times. Wow, impressive. So let's, I think it's dry enough. Let's try a cut. It's a bit of a thick one. It's more of a graphic style kind of vibe. Yeah, I quite like this one. This is nice. Probably my favorite actually from this set. So yeah, this is the mini kit. How much time have we got? Okay, half an hour. I feel like we should make something. So let's see if the zine mentions anything about making the final artwork as pictured. But I'll try and... maybe I won't make... like, maybe I won't draw frogs, but I'll try and draw maybe a cat or something like that. And usually these sets don't contain all the colors that you need to recreate this artwork, but I think, well, it's not 100% maybe, but it looks pretty close enough. So this might actually be the closest I've ever seen to having a full set to create. Like the artist must have used just those colors or close to, if that makes sense. Oh, and the artwork is by Catalina, who goes by Cat Online, and their Instagram is cvt.art on Instagram and TikTok, and CVT Art on YouTube, and I'm definitely going to check them out. I think this is the style I kind of enjoy looking at, so I'm interested to know what they make. Oh, cute heart. Okay, let's try and make something. So I'll put this aside because that's not the main set. And let's see what this says. So you can make expressive forest. Yeah, and you can create a wide range of color combinations, because from 3 colors you can mix a few different colors. So let's try that. So what should our cat look like? I'll do something that like a cat that I'm familiar with. This is my most common cat shape. Although I kind of like this orientation, so let's do this. There and other art supplies. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to make the cat yellow and then I'll drop some red as highlights. It's quite a bright yellow though. Oh, well, I'm committed now. Maybe the cat will be like... it will have spots of yellow and spots of red. So red. Sorry, orange. Yeah, now I'm struggling to see how this artist made the colors so light, but I guess it's by adding a lot of water, which I have failed to do. So this might be... I need diluting more. I am not very familiar with watercolors, so I might be doing something wrong here. But you might be in the same position as I am, so I hope you can suffer with me. And maybe, can I mix these two? I'm kind of interested to see what happens when I mix these two. I have a feeling it will be brownish, but let's see. Who knows? Okay, that might be a lot of blue, to be honest. So maybe I'm very much like a different artist maybe would have created another page of experiments, but I'm not a patient artist. I guess this is more sort of muted. I don't know. At this stage, this is not the artwork I thought I was going for, but we're going to roll with it. I'm just going to embrace it. A part of becoming like more confident in art is just not caring about something that doesn't quite work. I'm enjoying this, and that's the important part. And I hope you can see that in art too. But I just had an idea. Okay, so my idea was to use a different brand. It's something that my partner got me for Christmas a few years ago, and it's a blending palette, but you don't need a fancy blending palette. You can use some kind of a plastic bag or packaging. It just needs to be really smooth and kind of sturdy, like a little bit sturdier than like a plastic bag. And you can use it as a blending palette. This particular one is from Tombow, but I think it should work nicely with these pens, and I think it might be nicer for blending, as the name suggests. And because I wanted to mix these two, I kind of prefer how they look together. I'm going to blend them on this. I think that might work a bit better. And normally what you would do, and I'll maybe show you that later if I don't forget, you would spray it with water and you would stick it onto the page, but because I have a shape that I need to follow, or want to follow, I'm going to use it with a brush as a mixing palette and see what happens. This paper is getting a bit wrinkled, so I don't know, it claims to be watercolor, but maybe it's not the best watercolor, but we're going to roll with it. I'm committed now to this paper. So let's see. It's a bit blue, so maybe I'll add more. That's the wrong color. I guess the blue is stronger, so it overpowers the other colors. But let's see how it looks now. Okay. I think it's time to call this cut a bit of a fiasco, but that's fine. I'm probably going to redraw it later. So yeah, I don't know. I need to practice more, I guess. Let's go to the next page. That's the beauty of making art. You can always go to the next page. So I'm going to try and make a much lighter color somehow. We'll see. And then I'll use a colored pencil. Just a middle of the video interlude. I just wanted to let you know that I have an Etsy shop and you can find all kinds of stickers, zines, comics, all kinds of goodies in there. I am very passionate about everything I do and make. So check it out if you'd like. It's in the links down below. And if you'd like, you can subscribe to my newsletter. I usually have a pinned comment on my videos, so you can click that, and if you subscribe, you will get a 15% off promo code for my shop and exclusive sketchbook tours, like previews and first picks at my sketchbook pages or sales, exclusive behind the scenes and things like that. So subscribe there if you'd like. Bye. So I'll start with the light sketch again. think green is the easiest from these colors to make. So I'll start with the blue outline. I'm trying to copy this image, but I shouldn't really. So let's see, what can I make from this? I'll just make some leaves. Oh, my cat is not happy. Okay, I just had some cat business to attend to, but I'm back. You don't want to know. Trust me, you don't want to know. So I'm just going to continue. I drew some leaves using a blue colored pencil. And did I say which brand they were? So they're Lyra by Rembrandt, and they're called Polycolor, and they're a German brand. I think I didn't mention that. Okay, let's try again. And let's see if I can make a green. Maybe I should wash my brush. This is a very bright green. Let's see how this looks. Okay, maybe this is how the artist the artist from this box did this. I'm making less and less sense as the night goes on. Yeah, this looks a bit better. This looks a lot better than the super bright cat. So maybe I can make a green cat. But first I want to make another leaf. The thing I struggle with watercolors is when it dries, it's kind of hard to make it look good. Like to reactivate it and continue painting. Oops, this will be a weird derpy cat. I can't talk and paint, it seems. Oops, too much water. But maybe that's a good thing. I'm not sure how I feel about this subdued colors cat. I'm giving up. Maybe it's just me, my inexperience with watercolors, but I decided this year will be the year where I'm trying more wet media. So by wet media, in case you're not aware of what that means, I mean any kind of art supply where you use water in order to use it. So well, I'm not explaining this very well, but what I mean is like gouache paint or acrylic paint, and begrudgingly watercolor. I have always struggled with watercolor, making it look good, but I'm going to work on that this year. So a few years ago, color was my thing that I wanted to improve the most, and I think I'm okay with where I am with colors now, so I want to move on to something else. I think wet media would be a nice thing to do. Okay, this is not a cat I wanted, but this is a cat I have. I'm not referring to my own cat, by the way. My own cat is great, and I love him to bits. He's currently probably grumpy by the door because I'm not letting him out. How dare I? How does this person make it look so good? I think I worked it out a little bit. So I think like it's like a mixture of paint on both colors as line work and also paint as line work. So that's interesting. But I can definitely not use that brush for it though. Maybe it's not a brush, maybe it's those. Let's see. Let's see where that gets us. That looks a lot better. I kind of like this weird line work that isn't as necessarily straight or single color, if you know what I mean. It feels more organic. And it's just what I find aesthetically pleasing. And let's just draw whatever this is called. Yeah, I think this works much better. I think some of the line work is like a mix of red and blue. So I guess it's a matter of going over it and over it a few times. Maybe like this. I wonder if I'm getting diverted. No, not really. But you can get kind of splatters a little bit if you do what I just done. I'm not going to test it now because it's not part of the set, but I think what would work well with this technique is magic pencil. Magic pencil is the pencil that has multiple colored leads in it. So as you draw, the colors change. Yeah, I'm kind of getting somewhere with this now. Let's draw a cat in the same way. Maybe I'll go with the blue and yellow first. Do you find my videos long? I meant to do the nice eyes that I came up with there, but I think it's too late. No, it's not too late. Yeah, I wonder, because I asked you I asked that a few months ago, and you said that you preferred long videos, but I know there are lots of new people here. So yeah, tell me in the comments below whether you prefer longer videos or shorter videos. Okay, I think it's getting a bit too blue. Okay, That's a derpy cat with a wonky eye. Yeah, you can tell that this person knew what they were doing. It looks like acrylic alcohol markers to me, but it seems like they just used the Karin markers, which is incredible, and I find it impressive. I forgot I have a third pen as well. I like how much ink there is inside. This will last a good while. I guess. There we go. I just turned the page the right way up so you can. Yeah, so it's not so annoying, I guess, for you. Oh no, the line went a bit big. Just thinking, what color should the nose be? Green doesn't really work, does it? That might be yellow. You know what? I use my palette. Oops. Sorry to the artist. Didn't mean to deface your lovely print. Thankfully, it's just on the back. Okay. I wonder if I add water, if it will work quicker. Yes. Okay, that's much better. That's way too light. I tend to draw eyebrows for cats just because, I don't know, I find it more interesting this way. No. Well, I'm committed now. I wanted to do like really straight hairs, but I forgot. Okay, I think that's it for the pens. And I also have colored pencils, so let's put them to use. I wonder if I can make a nice sort of texture with these. something like this, but maybe even lighter. Not sure how I feel about that, but I can do a bit more line work. I don't know, I think that will do. Not the best cut I ever drew, but I think it's kind of interesting. One thing left to do on it is, I think, this is from the previous set that I was testing. It's a Frisk gel pen, and it's just a white gel pen. I'll just add a highlight in their eye. But I might have to go over it a couple times for it to work. I know technically it's not the same set, but I feel like a white gel pen is an essential in an artist's toolbox. So here's the cut. And one thing that I still wanted to try, I just wait for it to dry. And I have the original bottle from the set, but I'm just using my old hairspray bottle, kind of, yeah, conditioner, because I don't know where I put it. I think this is now. I'll just do this. Okay. I might spray the paper as well, but we might need a bit more color on here. So here they are. Still in shot. Okay, let's try that. So I'm just spraying the paper and the palette. Okay, that should be enough. That should be enough. And what I'm doing is I'm turning it around, sorry, turning it around, and I'm going to press it into the paper. Okay, now it's really wet. Done. I feel like maybe I've used too much, but too late now. Yeah, I use way too much. And this part doesn't handle the water going to the edge too well, but it will last a while longer. But you can kind of see the effects you can achieve with this technique. I might have to dab it with a bit of tissue, just because it's a bit much. Oops, that's my hair. You can kind of see what happens when it's really wet and a bit drier. So the effect is a little bit different. But I'm going to lift some paint just to expose the... Oh, okay. Sometimes when you lift paint, it will leave a bit more of the white of the page. But I think this is quite a staining paint, so it doesn't actually... Yeah, with like most watercolors, you can lift the paint off the paper. But with this one... Everything's wet now. Okay, I think once you have this, once it dries, you can draw on top of it. It just makes for really nice like lettering backgrounds, and just as a background for your drawings. So yeah, I recommend you try experimenting with these things, and yeah, see where you can take this medium. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you had fun looking at all the ways we can use these art materials from Scrawlr zine. I can't speak properly anymore, so I hope you bear with me. And I think that will be the end. So we did some... I can't really close this because it will make a mess. So we swatched some art materials from Scrawlr box, which are Karin Real Brush Pro pens, and I also used some Lyra Rembrandt polycolored pencils, and a line marker, and some really interesting neon, I guess, markers, and a black one. And we also drew a cat fiasco. I reckon it's probably savable if I add some gouache on it. And yeah, it's just a part of the process. Sometimes the art looks ugly in the middle of the process, and if you trust the process, you will end up like in a nicer situation, especially with like wet media I found, where yeah, you start, everything looks a bit ugly, and then towards the end it all comes together. So I think that's normal. And also this was like my first practice, so I'm not too worried. And we also drew this cat, which also at the beginning didn't look like anything good. And towards the end I quite liked him. Let me know if you enjoyed this and which art materials from this art haul you enjoyed the most, and your favorite colors from this video. And yeah, I think that will be the end. So have a lovely day artsing, and until next time, bye! So now you should see a link to the next video in my swatching playlist, so you can continue watching with me if you'd like to do that. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. See you in the next one, bye!